We'll start off with one of the most controversial tax policies in Ghana's history, and I'm talking about the E-Levy. It led to fisticuffs, it led to exchange of blows and ripping of shirts in Parliament. But today, that tax in terms of revenue projections has been revised by government, and I'll take you through the figures. So I'm sure you remember that in the 2022 budget, the government had budgeted to rake in about $100 billion in terms of total revenue. Out of that, about 80 billion cedis was supposed to come in terms of tax revenue. Out of that 80 billion, about 7 billion was supposed to be realized in terms of the E-Levy. What's happened ever since the finance minister went to Parliament just on Monday for the media budget review? What he's done is to revise the total revenues from 100 billion to 96 billion. Tax revenue has also been revised downwards from 80 billion to some 74 billion. And E-Levy, the electronic levy tax, has also been revised from 6.9 billion to 600 million cedis. That is a significant revision. Over 6 billion cedis in taxes will not be realized from the E-Levy. In fact, government has admitted through this that it will not be able to realize over about 6 billion cedis. This is about 91% downward revision. This was supposed to be the magic wand. This was supposed to be the answer to our economic woes. This was supposed to be the reason why government will not go to the IMF. But fast forward, see what happened. Look at this. Government was projecting to rake in about 1.4 billion cedis for the first half of the year, between January and June. But this is what government managed to realize: 93 million. 93 million. Now, Professor of Finance John GATSI says the huge revision in the E-Levy target is an indication that the policy has failed.
Failure is burdensome and destructive to economic activities. It is destructive to participation in cashless transaction regime, and it is also scaring away from participating in transactions that involve digitalized benefits. So when you look at the cost to this country in terms of actual amount of money being spent on infrastructure to roll out the implementation of the task, and again, the cost of people not participating in the benefit of digitalization, and for that matter, cashless transaction regime, you can come to the conclusion that the failure task should be rejected and should be withdrawn to allow people to participate in cashless economic transaction.